Hello and welcome to the Stop Headaches Forever workshop. I'm Dr. Tabor Smith, and if you were on last night's live webinar, you will have noticed that we had some technical difficulties. So I wanted to jump in here and record this entire webinar for you so you can make sure you get all the benefits of it. We're going to jump right in. Today we're going to be talking about 3 different types of headaches: stress headaches, sinus headaches, and migraine headaches. Now, stress headaches can include, or also called tension headaches and cervicogenic headaches, etc. But these 3 headaches right here make up the vast majority of the headaches that people experience. Now, don't worry if your favorite headache is not on this list. I guarantee you we're going to jump into what is most likely causing your headaches specifically as well, because we're going to talk about what causes 90% of all headaches out there. Now, I thought this Far Side comic was pretty funny here. The wife says, "The pain starts in my husband's lower back, then it travels up his spine to his neck, then it comes out of his mouth and into my ears, and that's why I get these headaches." So if your cause of the headaches is your husband, I'm not sure I can help with that, but maybe we could help your husband feel a little bit better, and then that would help your headaches. Just kidding. This is one of the most dangerous beliefs that you can have, is that your headaches are the problem. All right. Now, I would agree that they are a part of the problem, but what we're going to do today is we're going to start to look at the cause of the problem instead of just that superficial issue. In fact, what I like to think of looking at the cause of the problem is like peeling back an onion. It's like, yeah, the headache or the pain from the headache is that first layer, but then what's causing that, right? And then what's behind the cause of that? And let's keep diving in, peeling off those layers, getting to the cause of the problem, and that way we don't just continue covering up or masking this problem or this issue as it gets worse. I like to think of it as a glacier. You see that top part right there, that's your headache. That's the pain from the headache. But there's an underlying issue, an underlying cause. Really, that pain that you're feeling is your body's way to tell you, hey, there's a problem. And we want to listen to that problem and be able to dive in deeper and see what's at the bottom of that glacier, what's causing that issue. Let's address that. You know, my grandfather, he passed away from lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer, before they even knew it was there. Why didn't he feel that growing inside of his body? Well, because you don't feel these chronic issues. So if you do have a symptom like a headache or a back pain or a neck pain or these types of issues, if you have a symptom, then we're already on the left side of this health continuum, this illness-wellness continuum. And we need to start paying attention to what that symptom is telling us. See, I want you to look closely. If you really understand this illness-wellness continuum that you're seeing on the screen, it's quite impactful. See, most people are at this neutral point. And when they move off into the left, into the signs and symptoms, then they just mask those signs and symptoms with a drug. Now, that doesn't move them to the right at all. In fact, that just helps them sit there without feeling these things, and they start inching closer and closer to disability and premature death. We want to be able to address the cause of these signs and symptoms. Doing that could actually improve your health and take you more towards the right of this continuum, where you become aware of what's causing these symptoms. And when you're out of pain or you're not having these symptoms anymore, you're just on the right side of that neutral point. So I always like to say, just because you don't have symptoms doesn't mean you're healthy. In fact, it just means you're not sick, right? When you start to have symptoms, we say we're sick. But when symptoms go away, we say we're healthy. Not true. We're just not sick. How healthy you are depends on your actions. And as you start becoming more aware of your actions, you start getting educated about what actions we can take to make us healthier, then growth really happens. Then we can start stacking those healthy things in our lives, and we can just start moving more and more and more towards high-level wellness, towards the right side of your screen. That's where I want us to live. So it doesn't even matter if you're not having headaches right now. What we're going to cover today is going to help you build true health and wellness and take you to that right side of the continuum. See, when we talk about feeling versus function, we want to be doing things that help improve the body's function, not just make us feel better. In fact, some of the things that improve our function don't really feel that great at first, like exercise, really pushing yourself to lift those weights, or jog or go for the run. You might say, I don't feel like this today, but doing these things that make our body function better is really what takes us into true health. There are 3 areas of the nervous system, and we're going to talk a lot about the nervous system today. The motor nerves, that controls your movement. The autonomic nerves, those are what I like to call the automatic nerves. Those are going to control things that just happen without you having to think about it. Your heart beating, your stomach digesting, all those things that happen every single day without you really even having to be aware of it, that's controlled through your autonomic nerves. Now, the small percentage of nerves that actually control pain are called your sensory nerves. This is why my grandfather was able to have stage 4 lung cancer and not feel it, because that cancer wasn't putting any pressure or irritation on his sensory nerve, so he didn't know it was there. But it was affecting autonomic nerves. It was affecting his breathing, his heart rate, his digestion. He was having other issues that he just kept taking a pill or a drug and masking those symptoms for while his body was degenerating. So we can't always chase the symptom, but when a symptom is there, we really want to dive into it and figure out why it's there and what's causing it. So I want to start to transform the way you think about your health. Hopefully you get that from these workshops, from these webinars. I want you to understand that healthy is normal. Your body was designed to thrive and be healthy. This is normal. Man, it's not common in our society, right? People are sick and suffering. So being healthy is not common, but it's normal. So when we get that body back to functioning like it's supposed to, that design, we put that design back into the body that you were designed, you were born with, then the body becomes healthy, and that's what is normal. See, your body is smart. It's intelligent. And I want you to realize that and grasp that and really hold on to that concept that when we're looking through and trying to decide what's causing these problems, what's causing these symptoms in our body, we have to realize, well, the body's intelligent. Why would it do this? Let me give you an example. Blood pressure. Instead of just taking that pill to mask it, what if we ask the question like, why is my blood pressure high? My body's smart, it's intelligent. What could it be trying to do? Why would it raise the blood pressure? Instead of just taking a pill to mask our cholesterol, what if we ask the question, look, my body's smart. Why would my cholesterol be raised? Why would it be doing that? And a lot of times we'll find answers like the body's trying to get blood flow to certain areas that it couldn't get to. We have stress, so much stress in our life. Our body's trying to produce stress hormones, which cortisol and all those things are made out of cholesterol. There are a lot of answers when we actually start peeling back that onion and looking for the cause of the problem. The third thing I want you to realize is that your nervous system is the master controlling system of your body. You can look in any anatomy book taught in any institution across the country, and they'll say the exact same thing. The nervous system controls every function of the body. And that's why I hammer this point home every workshop that we do. We've got to take care of that nervous system if we want our body to function properly. And now your spine is important as well because it's the suit of armor that protects that nervous system. See, when I say nervous system, I mean your brain, the spinal cord, and all the nerves that come off the spinal cord. And your spinal cord is really just an extension of your brain. Your brain's so important, the good Lord actually encased it in a vault of bone, right? Your brain's the only organ that is completely encased in bone. So we know that God knew that this organ was very important when he designed the human body. Your spinal cord is just an extension of that brain. It travels down your back, down through your spine, and then all the nerves that come off your spinal cord, they go to all the organ cells and tissues in your body. So your brain is controlling everything in your body. Your spine is protecting it, and when your spine becomes damaged, it can then interfere with your nervous system. The last thing I want you to understand, the last premise to health, is that look, modern life is just unnaturally stressful. And that stress that we experience every day damage our spine, which then damages our nervous system, which then keeps our body from being able to function the way it was designed to function. It interferes with that intelligence that we talked about. Your body's smart, and then when we have damage to your spine and nervous system, it interferes with that intelligence. Okay, what's the answer then, Dr. Tabor? Well, first, let me tell you what the answer is not. One of the most dangerous beliefs is that drugs are the answer. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not against taking a medication. Sometimes you have to, and sometimes you need it, especially short term. So when someone comes up to me and says, I have this headache, should I take this? My first question is, what is your objective? That's going to determine your answer. If you need a short-term relief from that headache, if that's the objective, then yeah, that drug, that medication, that's going to be the answer for right now. But if we're looking and we change the objective, like now our objective is, what's the cause of my problem? How can I start addressing the cause? My body's intelligent, so how can I support that intelligence and remove interference that might be interfering with that intelligence? Then that objective, it requires a different answer, right? It's that drug, that medication that you're taking doesn't bring health. It doesn't correct the cause of the problem. So really you got to ask yourself, what's my objective? And when we're using a medication, hopefully we're thinking more short term. For example, I had a sore throat one time. I was coughing, stuffy nose, sore throat, and I had to give this hour-long presentation on stage. Well, I didn't want to sound like I was just, really sick on stage. So guess what I did? I took a Sudafed. That got me through the hour of the presentation. Now, no way did I think that Sudafed was going to make me healthier. In fact, I thought it probably is going to extend the amount of time that I'm sick because it's just unhealthy for me. But it was able to get my objective, which was to get through the next hour, and then I'm able to support the body. Now my objective becomes to get healthier, find the cause, support the intelligence of the body. So see, the answer depends on your objective. So when we start looking at the causes of headaches, if you look at the textbook will say that the cause of headaches is anything that stimulates the pain receptors in a person's head or neck and causes headaches, including stress, which is the number one on our list, one of the biggest causes of headaches, which causes muscular tension, which then leads to irritation and headaches, dental or jaw problems, which can affect your headaches. Even infections or being sick can give you a headache. There's dietary causes, eye problems, if you're having to squint at different things that can stimulate headaches. Hormonal influences can affect blood flow and headaches. Medications that you take, disorders of the ears, nose, throat, disorders of the nervous system. This is a big one. We're going to be talking about this a lot. Injury to your head or spine, high blood pressure, being poor posture, that puts unnecessary strain on the muscles of your back and neck. Having a hangover, maybe abusing drugs or alcohol, those types of things can cause headaches. Temperature changes, like being in extreme heat or extreme cold, have been known to stimulate headaches. Dehydration, not getting enough water, that affects your blood pressure. Blood pressure affects your headaches. Loud noises can affect headaches. And then there are other things like temporal arthritis, like inflammation in the artery that's in the temples. That's really most common in elderly people. We see that arthritis, especially in the upper neck, cervical spine, and even meningitis. So there are a lot of things that can stimulate pain receptors, but we're going to dive into what is behind the cause in about 90% of cases of headaches. So 90% of the time, the cause leads back to stress in the nervous system. And here's the big idea. I want you to understand that your nervous system is your master system. It's controlling all other cells, organs, and tissues in your body by sending messages through those nerves back and forth, communicating to those cells in your body. Now, when the spine or any joint shifts out of alignment, it's not moving properly, it can interfere with the messages being sent through this nervous system. When those messages are being interfered with, it affects the function of your body, and that can lead to things like headaches and other health issues. This is why in our office we use tools and therapies like the chiropractic adjustment to correct what we call subluxation or interference to this nervous system, to this nerve flow, when we correct those and we remove that interference, then we'll restore the natural function to your nervous system and your body's able to heal and be well. That's the big idea. That's what I want you to get from these workshops. Now, what causes stress in the nervous system? What causes what we call subluxations? Well, exactly this. It is stress, and we break stress up into 3 areas. Thoughts. So you want to change your negative thoughts. So many people walking around just with negative emotions and negative thoughts. This affects the muscle tone. This can irritate the spine. It can affect your nervous system. Your body doesn't function good with negative. We want to be positive. Toxins. We want to look at our diet. We want to look at our cleaning products. We want to look at the air we're breathing, the food and drink that we're digesting. All these things are hygiene products. Anything that can be getting toxins into our body, we want to start eliminating, and that can reduce the stress on our body and the stress on our nervous system. Traumas. This is a big one we're going to talk about, and really, a lot of people understand traumas that can cause stress even more than thoughts and toxins. But these 3 things, thoughts, toxins, and trauma, lead to what we call subluxation. Subluxation, you've heard me mention it a couple times, it's joint misalignment. When that joint misaligns, when it stops moving properly, you get soft tissue damage around the joint. That causes inflammation and nerve irritation. Then those muscles around the joint, they're going to lock down. They're going to spasm. Now, why would they do that? Remember, the body's smart. It's always doing what's best for you. Why would it lock down the muscles around a damaged joint? It's trying to support the joint. It's trying to protect the joint. Oh, and then we're smarter than our body, right? So then we reach for a muscle relaxer. So now our muscles that's trying to protect the joint can't protect the joint anymore. So then the body's sending pain signals to your brain telling you stop damaging this joint, but we're taking a pain medication to make that pain go away. So now I can't feel the damage that I'm doing, right? I'm smarter than my body. And now we wonder why that joint stops moving and starts degenerating. We're literally shearing that joint because we're taking away all the intelligence of the body trying to support and protect that joint. So we start to see decay and degeneration, elevated stress hormones, and all those types of things. And all that is related with subluxation of a joint. A lot of times we see that bad habits, when they all add up, they cause significant subluxation in the spine. So we want to start looking at our habits. We want to start limiting our micro trauma. Of course, we don't want slips, falls, and accidents, but most of the time, it's not an accident that brings people into our office. It's not a slip or a fall or a car accident. Most of the time, it's these little bad habits, these little traumas that add up over time. Looking down at your cell phone for hours and hours a day, driving with your arm in the center console, leaning to one direction or the other, laying on the couch, watching TV in weird positions. All these small, stressful postures over time start to subluxate and degenerate your spine. We now have a condition, this is so common, we now have a condition called tech neck that is misalignment of the neck that starts spinal degeneration or degenerative disc disease happening at younger and younger ages. This puts irritation and stress on the neck and is one of the major causes of headaches. So what does tech neck look like on x-ray? Well, in this x-ray, you can see this nice curve in this person's spine. But what happens is when we're looking forward so much, texting and doing things in front of us, the head begins to shift forward. We begin to lose that curve. It was Kapanji, and they posted a study and an article in the Physiology of Joints, Volume 3. They said for every inch of forward head posture, it can increase the weight of the head on your spine by an additional 10 pounds. So think about that. Someone who has an inch head forward posture or 2 inches head forward posture can have up to 32 pounds of pressure. I've seen people with even more than 3 or 4 inches of head forward posture. You could have 42 pounds of pressure on your spine. No wonder this causes headaches, 90% of all headaches. Tech neck can lead to chronic neck pain, a lot of different types of nerve problems, and even herniated discs and bulging discs on top of migraines and headaches. So we want to address subluxation, not only addressing, the thoughts and traumas and toxins, but see how we're peeling off this this onion layer. The first layer is your pain, your headache, and then we're saying, well, look, let's look a little bit deeper. What's causing that pain? What's causing that headache? Well, there's interference to the nervous system. There's irritation on a nerve. What's causing that irritation on the nerve? We're peeling back another layer. It's subluxation. It's misalignment of the spine. It's fixation. It's abnormal biomechanics. That joint is not healthy. And so then we're saying, well, how can we address the cause of these headaches? Well, we can address the subluxation, number one. So we go to our chiropractor, we're getting adjusted regularly, we're doing our daily spinal hygiene exercises, we're addressing the subluxation, and then we're going to peel back another layer and say, how can we prevent subluxation? We're going to stop doing all of these bad habits that are causing subluxation and leading to pain and headaches. See, when we start taking care of our nervous system, we understand that here's a great illustration of how that nerve sends messages down the spinal cord and to all of those nerves, and we understand that your spine starts to act as like a breaker switch. In your house, if let's say the electricity went off in your kitchen and your refrigerator's not running, you wouldn't just all of a sudden go and get new appliances. You'd walk to the garage, you'd open the breaker switch, and you'd look and see which breaker flipped. And that's what, in a very simple analogy, is what we do in chiropractic. Is we say, where's that breaker switched, and where's it putting pressure on a nerve that's stopping that intelligence, that nerve impulse from going from the brain to all of the organs, and we reset that breaker with a chiropractic adjustment. So therefore, and it may take a series of adjustments, but when we get that spine in a better alignment, we get it moving better, we're reducing that soft tissue damage, we're reducing that inflammation and nerve irritation, the muscle spasms and pain start to go away, the joint starts moving properly, we're preventing arthritis, we're not only improving headaches, but sometimes people are coming in with shoulder or arm or elbow or wrist, hips, knees, sciatic issues, hand problems. All those things start to get better when we improve this condition right here, which causes 90% of all headaches, or at least is like I said, peeling back that onion, it's at the core of what's leading to your headaches. This is what subluxation looks like on x-ray. You can see that disc at C5, C6, so that's a C5 disc. Now, some people will say, well, that's arthritis, and it is. It's degenerative disc disease, but it's because long-term subluxation leads to degenerative disc disease. And a lot of people think that's caused by age, but I can just dispel that myth right now by saying, look at the disc at C2, C3. Now, how much older is the C5 disc than the C2 disc? Those two discs are the same age. One of them's healthy, one of them's not. So it can't be age that's causing that. It's biomechanics, movement, it's subluxation over time that leads to degenerative disc disease. All right, let's dive into where we look in when we see these stress headaches, or what we call cervicogenic headaches or tension headaches. When a patient comes in and they're having stress headaches, because there are a lot of different types of headaches, we're going to have a consultation, find out what type of headache you're having. I'm going to look at C1 through C7, that whole cervical curve, and even up into the upper back, because that's where the ribs come in and articulate with the spine. And we got to make sure that that's in a good alignment and that it's moving properly. So when you have stress headaches, cervicogenic headaches, or tension headaches, we're checking that neck, the entire neck, we're checking that upper back, and so many times we're finding subluxation in those areas that are leading to repetitive stress headaches. What about sinus headaches? Well, we can look to the spine for the cause of sinus headaches as well, and we see this so often. People who are coming in with consistent sinus headaches are having subluxations at C2, the joint in the upper part of the neck, and also C6 and C7, that's at the base of the neck and upper part of the back. See, a lot of people don't realize that, and another thing that causes sinus headaches is dehydration, because when your nerves are irritated or when you're dehydrated, your body produces histamine. Now think about that. You probably recognize that word histamine. When you have sinus problems, you're going to take an antihistamine, and that helps the sinuses deflate, right? Or it decreases the inflammation in the sinuses. Well, there's a reason when your nerves are irritated, it causes swelling in the sinuses and congestion, and when you're dehydrated, histamine causes swelling, and that's because your body is retaining that water in those areas. So when we take pressure off the nerve, when you rehydrate, those tissues, they de-inflame, and your sinus headaches start to go away. I had a patient just yesterday who told me, look, I started getting adjusted. I've always had sinus problems, sinus headaches, and congestion. When I started getting adjusted, that congestion went away. My nose started running a lot. And so what that was is the body's decreasing the amount of histamine that's produced, so the swelling that's always in the sinuses starts to go down, and now your sinuses can drain. She said that happened, went on for a couple of weeks, and then now I'm totally clear. No sinus headaches, no congestion, no runny nose anymore. Just it was able to get all out. So if you have sinus headaches, absolutely come see us, because we can help so many times, and people don't really understand that. They just keep taking a medication over and over and over to cover up that issue. Now, migraine headaches, this is the big one, the big slugger. It literally takes people out. I feel so sorry for people with migraine headaches. It is not fun. When we're checking migraine headaches, we're checking these areas: the base of the neck and upper back, C6 through T3. And don't get me wrong, on every single person, we're checking every area of the spine, but we're really, really focusing efforts on these areas to make sure that they are functioning properly, because they're so closely tied with these conditions. And then also in that lower back, a lot of people don't realize that L1, L2 is where the nerves go to the adrenal glands, which can stimulate hormonal type changes, and we want to make sure that that area is functioning well also. Here's a big dangerous belief, is that, and I see this so many times with people with headaches, because they just keep saying, well, I have quote unquote normal headaches. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as normal headaches, and they think that nothing can be done to help me, but that's a dangerous belief. In fact, that's one of the most dangerous beliefs, when you think nothing can be done, because then you don't seek an answer and you never try anything. And my advice is try everything until you find the answer. So how do we correct the cause? These 3 steps. Number 1, we want to start breaking our bad habits. That's postural habits, that's eating habits, that's not exercising, all those things that take us to that left side of the continuum, that make us unhealthy. We want to start breaking those bad habits, start implementing the good habits that help us build health and help us move to the right side of the continuum. We want to do our daily spinal hygiene exercises. And if you don't know what spinal hygiene exercises are, go to spinalhygieNechallenge.com and put your email in there, and you'll get videos every day. You'll get the entire instructions on how to do your daily spinal hygiene exercises. Everyone should be doing them. If you're a patient in our office, you absolutely should know how to do these exercises, because we must have went over it if you're a patient in our office. Number 3 is get consistent chiropractic adjustments. You're going to recognize this poster right here if you're a patient. The 3 steps to correct the cause is to get you great results. We need you doing these 3 things. Adjustments in rhythm. So that doesn't mean just random adjustments anytime or only when you feel the pain. That means consistent, rhythmic chiropractic adjustments to keep your spine in check. Breaking those bad habits, getting your phone in a good position, your computer in a good position, not sitting for hours a day, and then start implementing those good habits, and then doing your spinal hygiene exercises at home. These 3 things, how well you do these 3 things, adjustments in rhythm, breaking bad habits, and spinal hygiene exercises, will determine the results you get. And again, these are the core 4 spinal hygiene exercises. If you don't know what these are, range of motion, resistance band, wobble disc, and spinal molding, go to spinalhygieNechallenge.com and check that out. You'll get all the information there. And the 2 that I would recommend the most, if you're a headache sufferer, really anyone, if you can only do 2 of these, I would do that top one and the bottom one, the range of motion stretches and the spinal molding exercises. This is Dr. Gina giving us a demonstration on how to do the range of motion stretch. All you want to do is take your spine forward, hold for 10 seconds, backwards, hold for 10 seconds. Slide your hand down your leg to the left, hold for 10 seconds. Slide your hand down to your leg to the right, hold for 10 seconds. And then join your hands in front of you, rotate to the left for 10 seconds, and rotate to the right for 10 seconds. So it should take you 1 minute to do this spinal range of motion exercise. If you're someone who's sitting at an office chair for long periods of time, get up every 30 minutes and do this spinal hygiene exercise, the range of motion exercise. The other one that you should be doing, especially if you have headaches and you want to eliminate those, is the spinal molding exercise every night. You can see here Dr. Gina's laying on her spinal molding rolls. You can get those in our office, or again, you'll be able to get them at spinalhygienechallenge.com when you check that out. But this helps to keep a better alignment in through the neck, so that neck curve that's so important, and then also in the low back, that lumbar curve that's so important. We lay on our spinal molding rolls every night to put that spine back in a better alignment, to take some irritation off of the spine, and then over time, just like you brush your teeth. You brush your teeth once, it's not going to make that big of a difference. You do it consistently over time, you're going to make a big impact and a big difference in the health of your teeth. Same with these spinal hygiene exercises. You do them once, it's not going to matter. You do them consistently over time, you're going to make a big impact in the health of your spine and nervous system. And then, of course, getting adjusted in rhythm, one of the most important things that you can do for your spine. All right, so if this resonates with you, this workshop, and you want to know if you have subluxation present, then come in the office and you can go to abetterwaychiropractic.com. Again, that is abetterwaychiropractic.com. I'll try to put these links below the video if I can. And we do a $47 checkup and evaluation. We're going to take you through 5 objective criteria to determine if you have subluxation, what extent and what degree you might have subluxation, and then develop a plan to be able to correct that, get you functioning back as normal as possible, and then show you how to maintain that to maintain a good, healthy, strong spine and nervous system. So the 5 objective criteria we take every patient through is instrumentation, motion palpation, static palpation, visualization, and x-ray. Those are important. Just to wind this workshop down, give you a couple of success stories. We've had these 2 stories stick out the most to me, so I'll tell you about Jason, who was he was the son of a farmer, and his dad was getting older, wanting to retire, so Jason wanted to take over the farm, but he was suffering with migraines that were so bad they would put him out for, days at a time. And so when the farm was really busy, he's like planting or harvesting or all these things that have to be done, and stress would start to increase in his life. Boom, he would get hit with a migraine. He'd be out when the farm needed him most. And so his dad couldn't turn the farm over to him because of these migraines. He told me, he said, I need help with these migraines. The medication's not working anymore. And so he started a care plan in our office. And it didn't go away overnight, but he stayed with it consistently, adjustments in rhythm, and now he comes in periodically for checkups and adjustments. He's doing great, no more migraines. He was able to take over the farm, and he learned his spinal hygiene exercises to maintain the health of his spine and nervous system and get checkups, wellness checks consistently to make sure that those migraines stay away. So awesome story, loved that one. The other story I wanted to share with you was Kay. Oh my goodness, she came in and she said, I've been having severe migraines on a regular basis. None of the medications, the drugs don't work anymore. They put me completely out. She said, I can't do that. My medical doctor wanted me to undergo a procedure where they literally kill the nerves in the back of the head, kind of an ablation. It's almost like they cauterize or to just completely kill the nerves. So you won't feel your head anymore, and your headache sensation will be less. So I put these images here to show you kind of how they do it, and they stick needles in, they kill those nerves in the back of the head there, and that innervate the head. Now this should show you why irritation to the spine and subluxation to the spine causes headaches, because instead of correcting the subluxation that's right there, putting irritation on those nerves, medicine's going to go in, the medical system's going to go in and just kill them. Now the problem is it might work for a little while, and then those nerves try to grow back because your body tries to regenerate, and then you have scar tissue there. Then you got to keep getting this procedure over and over and over as those nerves are trying to grow back. Then scar tissue builds up, and it just becomes a bad thing. And so I said, I told Kay, I said, just try this we see subluxation. This is the cause of those headaches. Try this. You can always go have that procedure, but once you do it, you can't really go back. So she started care. I'm happy to tell you she's doing awesome now. She's a mom, takes care of multiple kids all the time, and just maintains her spine and nervous system. It's not having migraines anymore, able to live her life. Beautiful success stories, and there's been hundreds of others as well. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's super easy that one adjustment, headaches just go away. We've got patients in our office now that are still struggling with headaches, and they have to come in to maintain that every week, right? Their life's just stressful. Stress builds up. Everybody has to live in it. What was premise number 5? We said that we live in a modern day that is just like unnaturally stressful, and it causes subluxations. That's why it's so important to have a chiropractor on your health team. We'd love to be your chiropractor. We'd love to help you out. I'm going to tell you this, problems don't just go away if you ignore them, but most of the time they actually get worse. Here's an example. If the check engine light on your car pops up, if you just put a piece of black tape over it, you might have fixed your problem for the next 5,000 miles, but eventually you're going to have to deal with that problem, and the problem's going to be a lot worse if you wait than if you just deal with that check engine light and actually get to the root cause of the problem and change the oil in your car. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Hopefully that resonates with you. If you want to find out if chiropractic can help you, schedule your checkup today at betterwaychiropractic.com or give us a call at 281-664-2250. We'll get that consultation scheduled. And even if you're not in the Houston area, the Northwest Houston area, send me an email, drtabor@live.com with your zip code, and I'll do my best to find you a good chiropractic office in your area. Thanks so much for being on the workshop today. I appreciate y'all. Sorry for the technical difficulties last night, but hopefully you get to see this replay. Thanks so much.